everyone, welcome to the Matrix Oracle. My name is Audrey. This is your Venus in Pisces transit reading. So March 11th all the way to April 4th, 2024, we're going to look at the prediction and teaching of the master teacher of intentions and desires, Venus. We are transiting in the sign of Pisces, which is the unifier. Pisces is here to unify all that you've learned, whether it's on a spiritual level, emotional level, intellectual level, or physical level. So I'm really looking forward to see what those messages are all about. So if you were born with a water Venus, so in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, welcome to your messages for this transit. So we have a couple of cards already here, and then we have the energy cards to deepen and further those messages. Pisces is speaking of, oh wow, I'm not surprised, initiation. When you are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power, there are moments of profound challenge. The key is to find the light within the challenge, the opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during your challenges, you shall thrive. Now, this phase, and Pisces being the last zodiac sign on the wheel, and this phase of that transit being smack where we experience the shift into a new zodiac wheel and the equinox energy, that doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of deepening of what we've learned and maybe more that is being initiated through this process. Let's see what we have here now. The Earth Keeper with the number 18. The number 18 in the angles of the zodiac is speaking of, it's actually connected to Gemini. And it's talking about divine justice through the scales of balance, meaning are we able to process some of our experiences? I feel with the Earth Keeper, really that connection. If you were born with a water Venus, but this is also the collective message, I would say that grounding and following nature for guidance, or just allowing yourself to release some of the negativity, especially here with the earth, understanding some of the principles with nature to renew and recharge your energy is really important. I have this mantra that is coming into my mind, so I'm going to mention it. Ahem Prema, AHEM PREMA, which is a really amazing mantra for divine love. And that's one that I used to practice a lot in nature. And I feel this is maybe part of the vibrational healing that I usually channel for everyone as part of, those readings. But yeah, I've had really amazing experiences and connection with nature and the sacred geometry that is beyond myself through this mantra, especially when used in nature. Okay, all right. Ooh, higher self. I am ready to communicate with my higher self in my dreams and to become enlightened. Okay, so we're definitely here seeing some type of really fine-tuned balance between, when you go to bed, just making sure that you set an intention, maybe to communicate with your higher self, okay? And then when you wake up, whether you've dreamed, wherever you're capable of remembering, some of you, I dreamt, and it's just eluding you. Just trust that your day is in alignment with that request. And I would say practice also reverence with nature, because it seems that there's something ancestral here with the initiation, and there's a lot of your answers that I'm feeling you're going to find in your subconscious in your dreamscape and state, and then in your awakened state, you're going to connect more with the your ancestral lineage, but also the ancestral wisdom of the earth through this type of initiation. And we have those cooking for, oh no. I mean, oh yes, but I mean, you can't make that up, you guys. Nature. I love it. Interact with nature in the outdoors, around animals, farmlands, or by the ocean. They will be good for the soul and healing for you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're seeing this. There's a lot, and I'm not surprised. Also, I wanted to bring my selenite plate here, working with crystals, maybe bringing them with you in nature to recharge them. I have my left ear that is ringing so strongly. So there's just an alignment, especially with the feminine, from the unknown. There's a lot of unknown. When you're being initiated, obviously there's things that you're not knowing that wants to be revealed. All right, let's put this aside. Oop, not everything, but and let's look at the cards. All right. Energy cards. Let's see what we, okay. Ooh, the temple path. You guys, it's just, I have to share this with you. I think there's like something by where I live called the water temple. I've been meaning to visit it. So it's going to be on my little adventure list for sure with this energy. There's something about honoring this process. Remember, Venus is trying to teach you how to manifest your intentions and your desire in greater ways. I had this reflection this morning preparing for all of this where, in the past, I had my mind set up my goals a lot. I want to do this. I want to achieve this and this. Oh. And today, while I was trying to set goals, I was just stating, and maybe it's because of this phase in my own personal chart, but I was stating out loud, I just want what is meant for me. Just want what my soul knew that I wanted to accomplish, to unfold. I wanted to open those gifts. I wanted to open that path. So you see, I feel that's why I'm sharing this story with you. It's just I was using my mind a lot. And my emotions obviously were driving that manifestation. And there was a lot of success, but there was always then this fall because there was this, I guess, unsatisfaction at a soul level where my soul wanted to guide me towards the path that was meant for all of my gifts to be revealed. So I feel this is for the collective, obviously, but this is also especially if you have a Venus in a water placement. Wow, look at this, the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. There's a lot of greens. Okay. I wanted, with nature and the earth and the heart chakra and a lot of green shades, I would say make sure that you allow yourself to also maybe eat more raw, fresh food, full of the water that holds the sacred geometry of nature that is meant to recharge you. There's structure in the water of those fruits and vegetables that I feel are highly activating for you. Some of you, if you're guided to do a cleanse, any type of cleanse, that's definitely something that I would recommend. I'm actually on day 4 of a fasting cleanse as well that I personally love for spiritual reasons, but also because I was guided through this energy. So there's a lot that you can get through quieting your digestive system, and receiving higher messages. Last but not least, let's see what we are seeing here. Oh, wow. And the 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel. Okay, do you see here the desires connected to the heart, but not just connected to the heart, connected to the soul. Yeah, so that really aligns with my little story. I trust that you resonate with this. Let's see if we have a frequency. So some of you, if you are YouTube members of the music option, you can work with Venus. I strongly suggest when you work with Venus frequency that you repeat the mantra 108 times. This is something that came up as this phase started, when I started rehearsing more and more with the planets. When you do 108 times, it activates a sacred geometry with this number that is very much about the cosmic flow and energy and sacred geometry of the universe. Okay, I've seen really tremendous results, seeing like purple and colors and activation that were not channeled without the repetition. Okay, so you can do this. And what else? Oh, so they're the inner child sovereignty. So some of you, if that's a green card, so that's for the YouTube members. And let's see what else. Ooh, the pharmacy. And I have yet to release it. Anger and irritability is the first one that I'm working on, and that's about to be released. That's interesting. Okay, I guess that's my sign for releasing my first pharmacy, so vibrational frequencies that you'll find for access to everyone on my YouTube channel. All right, and some of you, I am Prema, if you want to recite it in nature, or you want to add it to the inner child or the Venus frequency, or even when you're working with anger and irritability, which is the first one that I'm going to be releasing because someone requested it. So thank you for your request. Sometimes I do ask for your, what do you need, you guys? What do you want me to create as far as vibrational healing? That's what I have for you collectively for this Venus and Pisces transit messages, and especially if you were born with a Venus in a water placement. If you were born with a natal Venus in a fire placement, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, those messages are for you. I strongly suggest when you're watching those transit reading to watch the collective message because it has a theme, and that would be the water element. So first we have this beautiful light coming through, and it says, ooh, soul retrieval. You're getting back some of your power, my fire Venus here. Isis, healing goddess, now offers you spiritual restoration and deep soul healing through the art of soul retrieval, reclaiming pieces of you lost through trauma, old and new. Soon you will enjoy greater wellness, energy, and power. So be willing to go through the healing process, knowing that any emotional clearing taking place is leading you to wholeness. I love this. This energy of you getting back some of the lost fragments of your experience. It's light. That's why they call it soul retrieval. It's when you go through an intense experience, it splits your attention. And some of you will relate to this. If you had like things that happened when, for example, you were a child, or even 10 years ago with an ex relationship, and you're still going back to this event, and it's still creating a lot of chaos, drain, frustration, whatever energies, negativity, feelings, or whatever, this is fragmenting you. This is actually robbing you of your light. Let's see what else. Ooh, the holy mountain. I love this energy, especially with the number 25. This is the first in the zodiac wheel with the angles of the zodiac. This is the first degrees of Leo. And this is about spiritual magic. This is about spiritual wisdom. So there's a lot that Spirit wants to show you if you were born with a fire Venus. Especially this is your master teacher of how to manifest your intentions, your desires. And right now, we're really in this phase where the higher self wants to come through and wants to guide you to really almost like manifest this sacred avatar that you're meant to become. Yeah. Let's see what else. Act. Upon waking, I am ready to act on my passions and dreams. Ooh, I feel that some of you through this transit, so March 11th all the way to April 4th, 2024, every time you're going to do some inner work and you're going to heal those parts, or you're going to go back in that memory and state out loud through meditative states. You can work with, if you have access to, with the Venus frequency. And then put yourself in that moment and then just call it back. Say, I'm calling back my power from that situation. I'm calling back parts of myself that I lost through this experience that are still feeding this experience. Okay, and you'll see that this is impressive. Every time I do this, or every time I coach people to do this, this is just such an amazing practice to realize that you've put so much energy, focus into certain situations that are draining you. And here we have, interesting, twists and turns. Carefully made plans could be thrown out of the window as major changes and interruptions surround you. Make sure you get lost and rest to cope with all the upheaval. Okay, so that's not surprising when you're going to address any type of trauma. And also, I feel like with the act, you're going to be revealed what may be type of action or non-action. Maybe some of you've procrastinated on some things that you really want at a soul level, and you'll realize what were the ties, what were the cords, okay? Yeah. Yes, okay. I had another message. Some of you, if you're watching this, please review the new moon in Pisces, because when I read this, throw out the window, that resonated with the quote that I put for the new moon in Pisces reel. I spoke about following the flow and how the feminine power will throw everything out the window. So I think that some of you work also with the moon and that new moon energy. You see here the moon cycles, a lot of circle, a lot of cycle that we have to complete. Let's see what else. Okay, I'm not feeling it just yet. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, 3 cards. Oop. Okay, maybe you want to come with me. We'll see. This wants to act. Let's see what. Oh. Sorry, I'm just realizing. Some of you, if you don't know, I'm French. And I recently watched like a comic Instagram video, reel, whatever you want to call it, that actually just showed the sound effects of French people. It's just all this okay. So if you ever notice, I do a lot of sound effect. Yeah, this is from my culture. Action. They wanted to like come together. Like you saw it. I was like getting stuck with it. Oh, getting stuck. Now, with this card, okay, and the number 17. So the number 17 relates to Gemini placement on the wheel, and it speaks of working with codes and synchronicity. Working also with what your dreams are showing you, which was also part of the message for the collective. So I feel that some of you, maybe you're going to be purging, maybe you'll have certain like fears, nightmares, apprehensions. Just pay attention through this phase, working with Venus. How maybe you were feeding certain things, or maybe it fed certain fears that want to be revealed at this time. Oh yeah. Fire Venus. Some of you, this is interesting because this degree of, you see 25, 26. I feel that this is more like your inner wars, that the twist and turn. I feel that some of you, with this transit in particular, it's trying to show you I'm hearing this, where you shot yourself in the foot. And how, there's more, I'm feeling this more happening inside. The twists and turns, almost like the stomach being twisted and turned. Maybe some situations. Yeah. I like this. Door to spirit. This phase is great for you to find forgiveness with the number 32. This also connects to the placement in the wheel of the dragon head, the constellation of the dragon, the head of the dragon. So I would say here, breath work in terms of suggestion for working with this energy. I feel like, you see, when I said like the stomach twisted, we need more oxygen. We need oxygen, just like again. It feels almost like it says door, but it's almost like a window. We need to air situations. We need to, and that action, it's actually calling you to act on this. Okay, this is a higher guidance from your higher self, especially with this Venus, that wants to make space for your soul's abilities, your gifts. You were gifted with certain intentions and skills that you've rehearsed in past lives. So you need to make that space and make space with especially whatever you had to experience in duality. Now, some of you, I like to work with frequencies. Definitely, if you have access to the YouTube membership, work with the Venus. Please try to chant the mantra or even the seed mantra for 108 times. I've seen and I've received through this cycle with Pisces the sacred effect and geometry of the number 108, which actually is described in the video. If you look at the description of all the planets' frequency, even the sun and the moon that are available, I have found this great article that shows the power of 108, especially working with planets, okay, astrology and things like this. So definitely some of you, breath work, especially with the fire, and I'm not surprised, you can either start to burn away some of those past energies, retrieving from whatever past conflicts. Let's see if we have a specific guidance for the collective reading. The pharmacy came up, which I was surprised. I forgot I had made this card because I haven't posted yet my first pharmacy video, which is about anger and irritability. That might be something you want to check out. All right, your karmic astrology, the wounded healer. Okay, go into your chart, my dear fire Venus, and look at your zodiac sign placement for Chiron. Then go into the playlist of the wounded healer and then listen to your personal frequency. I really feel this is going to be supportive for you at this time. I'm sending you many blessings and much love and light. Namaste. If you were born with a natal Venus in an earth placement, so Venus in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, those messages are for you for this Venus in Pisces transit. Astrology suggests you always listen to the collective message, so here, water element, just to get a sense of the theme. We are manifesting our destiny according to our higher self. Venus is the master teacher of our intention and desires. And with Pisces, we're trying to unify and bring wholeness to a whole cycle. So a whole cycle where Venus just went through the wheel and is now ending, this last zodiac archetype. So what we saw in the collective reading was this connection to the higher self that was almost primordial. So let's look at your cards here, my Venus Earth placements. We have Key of Life. I love the art on this. I find it just so powerful. There's so much, softness and yet strength. So I feel that's for you why I said this. The Ankh portends new life being born through you now. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. Let it happen. So you see here, there's something that I could see with the vulnerability, like the softness and yet the inner strength. So this is a process almost of rebirth that's happening. Let's see what we have for the shaman, mystical shaman card. The curse. Interesting. I feel that some of you with a natal Earth Venus placement, you probably are the black sheep of the family or someone that was meant to break the cycle of a certain pattern. And right now, you're being gifted through this phase some type of higher communication through the soul. I would say especially connecting to your soul star. Now, interestingly, this is something that I've learned in music. There's something called the perfect fifth. And the perfect fifth is this gap between notes that creates this perfect harmony that is very much used in music to create a hit. The way that you can know how it sounds is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, which is interesting. I picked this deck of cards here. It's twinkle, twinkle, little star, that gap creates a perfect fifth, okay? So this is actually found in your chakra. So for example, when you count the chakras, you will see that from the root, you go one root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, root, throat. Dun, dun. So you have in your sacred geometry as a human being, between your chakra, your energy centers, a connection that is divine between the throat and the root. This is why what we say we manifest, and so on and so forth with the others. And when you get to the heart, it does not connect to a physical chakra. It connects to the earth chakra, so underneath us to connect us to the earth, and it connects us above our body, so above the head, soul star chakra. Isn't it amazing? So I feel there is just this type of knowledge that I explained to you with my Venus Earth. There's something here for you to find in the sacred geometry, in the knowledge, in the harmonization, maybe in the music, in the tempo, in the rhythm of your life that is of matter. It matters and it's going to help you through this phase to birth new life. Okay, so let's see what we have. Connect. I create strong emotional connections with the important people in my life. I find it interesting here because it almost feels like a sword of Damocles, like a double-edged sword, especially with those energies where you have to know the connection I feel strongly with the higher self to also make sure that some of the connection that you created could have been karmic. That could have been for a purpose of replaying this wheel that you came here to break. Because obviously you can break a cycle that you don't know anything about. Okay? So I feel that we'll get more messages about this. But that's what I felt with this Connect card. Oh, wow. I mean, communication, you can't make that up. A reunion could bring love or a rekindling of friendships. A lucky win seems likely. Okay, we'll see how the cards evolve here, because I feel that with this Venus in Pisces, it's in your hands. It's your destiny. You're destined to break those chains. But I feel that some of you, there's something about realizing where are your pitfalls? Where are your downfalls? Where are the karmic cycle? Maybe the karmic entourage, people, situations that you attract. Some of you, you may have already stepped out of them. So it's going to be about the realization, obviously, of what you're leaving behind so you can open those new doors and go into the unknown of what is meant for you. Okay, let's see what we have here with the energy cards. Working with crystals could be supportive. I don't know why I felt called to bring the selenite plate for this reading, but it really felt important. Okay, the 3 cards are here. Wow. Okay, look at this. 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 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. So we were talking about perfect fifth, and this is interesting because this 6th, so the 3rd eye chakra, will connect you in perfect harmony with your womb, with your sacral. Okay, so maybe there's a message here as far as what could be, because there's something about you seeing the duality of things, meaning like, you know, in the 3rd eye, there's always a front and back of the chakra. So here I feel a lot of the activation maybe of the back of the 3rd eye chakra, and maybe because this Venus transit in Pisces happens very close in day, like a day apart from when we had the new moon in Pisces. So I feel that for you, my Venus in Earth placement, very important to also work with the energy messages of the new moon, with your natal moon in particular. Because look at what we had said about new doors. But you also have to realize what you're leaving behind. Okay, so understanding in order to have the abundance that is destined for you. Let's see if I get more messages here. Number 40 in the Angels of the Zodiac is very much connected to the power of singing, music, broadcasting. So singing mantras is going to be super supportive. With the number 24 here, we're tapping in the degrees that speak of protection, that you are protected. But at the same time, there's a sense that I'm feeling here of also your own inner responsibility, because we're born with free will. Will you repeat the things that you know are ill affected to you, of ill effect to you? Because there's a choice. Sometimes we have like those temptations, you know, because it reminds us of a cycle where we may have glamorized some aspect of it, or we may have to say goodbye to some parts of ourselves. With the blossoming abundance and the number 3, we're getting this sense of planning and structure. So it's almost like it's time for you, while you're going through this Venus transit and connecting with your higher self, to make higher plans with in terms of the future, in terms of what you could create. Now let's look at what vibrational medicine we can bring. Definitely, if you are a YouTube member, go with the Venus frequency. That is so awesome to work with, and especially in your case, my Venus Earth placement. Venus is connected to your heart. So the cosmic energy and cosmic flow that you receive is already going to be very much connected to your heart. So I feel that some of you, that's going to be wonderful to work with this. Try to repeat the mantra for 108 times. I recently found an article about the sacredness of the 108 and how it connected, especially with the planets. So while I was meditating, I received this as a primal importance. And when I did the 108 times, I really experienced, you know, another level of energy flow that I had not since I've been creating those frequencies, which, you know, I've been rehearsing with them since the summer. So it's been over 6 months, and that was a new layer that was really, really interesting to reach. So let's see what we have aside of working with Venus. There's another frequency that can help my dear Venus Earth placement for this transit in Pisces. Oh, I love this for you. Yin Yang. yin yang frequency healing. So it's going to activate all your vertebrae, feminine and masculine, and kind of put everything into place. I feel maybe you'll have a greater sense of what's, it's like sometimes where we think about something, it's like, oh, well, maybe I could, or you'll have a greater alignment to. And when you do, it's like that balance. When you're balanced in your feminine and masculine, the higher self can come through. It's almost like a very sensitive balance between ratios for the sacred avatar to come in, All right, so that's what I have for you, my dear Venus Earth placement. I trust this is supporting you. I'm sending you many blessings and much love and light. Namaste. If you were born with a natal air Venus, so Venus in Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, those messages are for you. I strongly suggest that you always listen to the main element for the transit. So here Venus in Pisces would be water, so you just get a sense of the theme of this transit. Okay, and I can give you a sum up. It's really about initiating us to build our desires and goals around our connection to our higher self and our soul versus, deciding according to what our mind tells us is best. All right, so let's see what we have first for you. Proper burial for freedom. Yes, there is nothing to be gained and everything to be lost by trying to hold on to that which no longer serves us. Osiris, Lord of the dead, guides you now to release that which no longer needs to be a part of your life so that you may be free. Okay, now Pisces is the end of the wheel and it is a unifier. So I'm not surprised. That means Venus has already been circling through the zodiac wheel and is teaching us, step by step how to become a strong manifester and aligning our desire and intention here, especially to our soul's purpose, to our soul's oath, what we really wanted to learn and manifest. So not surprising that there might be still some things that we need to release and cut out of our life. Oh, wow. Talk about cutting. So the blade. Here, the blade is an invitation that is to actually take action. And here, the action is to, take charge or take action on how to, look at what is still holding you back. I would say that some of you, maybe you're not realizing that there still might be some cords, energy vampires. And energy vampires are just, I know people like to, extrapolate with vampires and, demons and things like that. But really, vampiring energy is whenever you focus and your mind is like going to the past event or going to the future, that's robbing your light of being in the present. So I find it very interesting. I think I did this exercise last night. Maybe that's something for you that I actually rehearsed, my dear air placement. I do not have an air Venus natally, by the way. So I was going to bed. I've been fasting for 5 days now. It's been a wonderful experience. And what I'm noticing is a lot of deeper, cleansing process. And I was noticing while going to bed that I was doing my meditation, and I don't know how, sometimes I was seeing that I was noticing that my mind took me into tomorrow or thinking about the last text that I saw before I went to bed because it was bugging me, but I decided I'm not going to answer now. So it was taking me in that energy, and that's an energy vampire. So that's not so much the person, but that was like the fact that I could not have a grasp on my mind and just like kind of quiet myself and say, we're breathing now, we're in the present, and tomorrow is another day. And then I would like see myself do this then into the back, and I would almost like don't know how I would jump. So I was noticing, and I think that was part of the fast and the fact that I'm very quiet inside, that I was able to really see clearly how my mind could jump into different timelines and time spaces while I was deciding to be in the present now. So that was quite interesting. So I was bringing it back, and I was claiming that I was retrieving my energy by bringing it in the present, that I was letting go of those expectations that maybe people projected on me or whatever, but I was letting go of all this almost like time traveling. I was like, what is going on? What am I doing? But it was a very great exercise to catch, okay? But for the first time, I actually saw it with very, very a lot of clarity. So next you have experience. My dreams take me wonderful places that are filled with wonder, delight, and joy. So that could be also, there was some messages in the collective about how through the dream state you could have a lot of guidance of your higher self, how to proceed through that transit to, whatever energies you had to address. So for you, maybe through the dream state, you'll be able to realize where you have to cut those energy cords or tendencies or patterns, just like I kind of illustrated myself here. And then you have surprise. All right, let's see what that means. It says a disappointment will be followed by a pleasant surprise. An invitation could bring love to those searching. Now, what I like with this energy is that I feel that just like you might find surprises in unexpected places and in places that felt uncomfortable as much as in places that you had expectations for something good to happen or unseen, unpredicted. So it's almost like things that hurt you or things that you did not know were possible, I feel could manifest as you're going through this process. Now let's pull some more cards for you. Let's see some more guidance for you, my dear Venus in air placement. Okay, all right, so we got attachment. Wow. Okay, confirmation about everything we were saying here. I was feeling this card, and I was feeling this card. There's more cards, so there's an extra one that I feel for you. They came together. Oh, this is so beautiful. The Temple Path and the Door to Romance. We had this card for the collective reading, so definitely don't skip the collective reading, my air sign. I feel there's some higher messages, deeper messages that could support you. And then you have patience. Okay, so through this cycle, there are some chains, there are some things that you want to cut out of your life, and you're going to have some divine guidance that you're going to receive. So what I would suggest, because you guys know that having those messages, there's so many words I can use to actually describe what is being felt. And you can feel your own version of everything that you're seeing and feeling. But I feel that when I connect then to the frequencies, I get deeper messages that are very personal. And that's very important to me, that you receive your own version of what we channeled here. So where could be, for example, those attachments, those cords, maybe it relates to the story that I've told you. So let's see what vibration medicine we have for you. And by the way, if you are a YouTube member, definitely work with the frequency of Venus. That's what you're doing when you're honoring the transit. You're honoring the master teacher. And that's like, a planet is just like the earth. It's a whole system that has spiritual galactical wisdom. So use the 108 times repetition, either of the seed mantra or the mantra for the planet, because I discovered how important it was. I've been rehearsing those planet frequency for over 6 months now. And I've seen how it took me to a different layer of awareness and receptivity of the cosmic energy, making sure that I repeat 108 times those mantras. Ooh, 2 cards for you. Ooh, so we have, for the ones that are still accessible to the membership, 33 vertebrae, light activation. And the pericardium frequency, allowing generosity, but listen to this, and letting go. Okay, this is the muscle, the envelope that is around the heart. So it's almost like maybe you have some layers, maybe some cords and chains around the heart, my dear. Look at this. This is caged. So maybe you have, that's going to be very powerful, okay? Very powerful, working with this for this and releasing those attachments. So that's what I have for you, my dear Venus in air placement. Be patient with the process. Repeat what needs to be repeated when you feel the limitation. Maybe some of you even through the dream state. Some of you, if you're wondering like, oh, well, how do I know when I need to work with Venus? Maybe give yourself a sign or a symbol for working with Venus. It could be a pink rose, like Aphrodite energy. It could be whatever. It could be a symbol so you know, hey, maybe I should review where Venus is and work with that energy. That's personally how I do it. You can also have, cards that have like astrology planets or dice. But I feel like I wanted to share this with you. Thank you so very much. Namaste.